You're gonna get them no matter where you work. A restaurant, a shop, an aeroplane, a cruise ship. And that is awkward passengers. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy, and today we are going to be talking about awkward passengers on cruise ships and how to deal with them as a crew member, because no matter how annoying, how outrageous, you always have to be professional. So today I'm going to talk about how I deal with annoying, awkward, difficult passengers, and hopefully it will help you deal with them in the future too. Hopefully you don't have to, but if you work on a cruise ship, I'm sure you will. But before we start, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who is watching the videos, who is subscribing. We are nearly at 1,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. It feels like a milestone. So thank you to everyone who is helping me get there. It really, really means the world. And also a big thank you to everyone who is DMing me or leaving me a comment, letting me know what they want me to make videos on. Obviously, I want to make videos that you guys want to watch, so please feel free to get in touch with me and let me know exactly what you want to watch so I can make that for you. But anyway, let's get into the video. So there are many types of awkward passengers that we are going to come across working on cruise ships. Let's go through a few of them. There's the passenger that actually has a genuine issue that she needs help solving. There are those who literally have no issue but just want to moan, and you're the first person they saw, so they're gonna moan at you. Those who are having a bad day, so they feel the need to ruin your day as well. And my personal favourite, those who think they can talk to you like shit because they paid for a cruise. But pretty much, no matter what kind of difficult passenger you encounter, the way of dealing with it is fairly similar. Now let's say they have a genuine problem. Most passengers are going to be absolutely fine with you and they are going to come to you for assistance. However, there are the occasional few who are going to look at you like you're the devil and you personally have caused this problem and ruined their cruise, even though you actually had nothing to do with it. Now, whether this problem is in your department or not, what you are absolutely never going to say is, "That's not my department." No. Because as far as they're concerned, you're a crew member, so you do everything. It's just going to confuse them if you say, "That's not my department," because the cruise ship is your department as far as they're concerned. What you can do, however, if this is not your department, let's say they have a blocked toilet in their cabin. It happens. Cruise ship toilets are rubbish. What you're going to do, you're going to listen to them, you're going to be sympathetic to their problem. Remember, put yourself in their shoes. It must be so awful to have a toilet that doesn't work in your cabin. That is really, it's rubbish, especially when you've paid all this money for a cruise. So you are going to call the right person for the job. What you don't want to do is say, "Well, that's really rubbish, but actually it's going to be reception that can help you with that." So then you're going to send them to reception, and then reception is going to send them to the restaurant, and then the restaurant's going to send them somewhere else. So they're walking around the ship trying to solve this problem, telling multiple people that their toilet's blocked. They probably don't want everyone to know that their toilet's blocked. So if you can handle it without involving the whole ship, that would be much appreciated. So even if you have nothing to do with the problem that they have chosen to come to you to solve it. So therefore, it is your job to solve it by finding the person who can actually solve it. Now, let's say that they come to you and you're busy with customers, but they also want you to solve their problem. What I like to do is say, "Absolutely, I'm going to help you out." Sometimes it might take more than 5 minutes to get in contact with the person who can actually solve their issue. So what I say is, "Please either wait in your cabin and I will call you in the next 10 minutes, or I'm going to get this solved today. I'm going to leave you a voice message in your cabin at 5 p.m. today." So they know at 5 p.m. today you will have left them a voice message explaining what is going to happen and how you are going to resolve their issue. This saves them trolling around the ship looking to fix a problem that they have no idea how to fix. I mean, if you can't fix it as a crew member, they're not going to be able to fix it. So you want to make it as easy as possible, and also they're going to love you for it, because when they've calmed down and they're not so angry and frustrated, they're going to realise that actually you didn't have anything to do with their blocked toilet, but they really appreciate the fact that you helped them out. If you want to be extra good, then you can be sure to call them the next day to make sure that their issue actually got solved, and then, I mean, they're probably going to ask you to go to their wedding. Whatever you do not have an attitude. I cannot stress this enough. A passenger might come to you with a problem that you deem ridiculous. They have a wonky light bulb in their cabin. Now, while you might think it's ridiculous, this is the biggest problem in their life right now, and you have to treat it as such. So if you get an attitude on you, like, come on. If they're frustrated anyway and then you get an attitude, it's just going to put fuel on the fire. So you want to be as sympathetic as you can, no matter how extreme or in extreme the problem may seem. But as I said in, I think, my last video, when it comes to like customer service, I like to pretend that these passengers are like family. I pretend that they're my parents, and I just think, how would I want hotel staff to treat my parents if they had this kind of problem? Because it just makes it a little bit easier to be nicer sometimes, especially if they're, you know, mouthing off at you and you're like, this literally has nothing to do with me. Look, it is something to do with you now, because they've chosen to bring this problem to you. So it's your job to fix it. And although you didn't ask for this responsibility, it's a gift. So accept it politely and move on. People who just like to moan. Yes, I know. It's like you're on holiday. If you're not happy now, then when are you happy? But unfortunately, people just love to moan. And they might not be moaning about the cruise. They might be moaning about their dog at home. But you know what? If moaning to me is going to make your day better, then you go for it. So yeah, to be honest, I just let them moan. If you want to moan to me about the weather in Greece yesterday and I've got a spare 5 minutes to listen, I'm just going to listen. You don't even have to say anything. And trust me, after working on cruise ships for actually probably just after one contract, you get really scarily good at being able to completely zone out of a conversation but nod and like say, yeah, in the right place. It's great, but it's also kind of bad. Like, I'll be having conversations with people that I actually want to talk to now, and they will think I'm listening because I'm nodding and yetting in the right place, and then they're like, yeah, so what do you think? I'm like, yes. So, but anyway, you get really good at this. So a lot of times, if a passenger's gonna moan at me, I'm nodding and yaying in the right place, but I'm actually thinking about what I'm gonna have for dinner in the mess later. So if you have a passenger who wants to moan and you have some spare time and you think that's gonna make them feel a bit better, having a moan, having someone to sound off to, just let them moan. Now we've got the people who are having a bad day, so they're gonna ruin your day. There's different types. I mean, you will get passengers who come in and they are upset, and that's easier to handle because they're not aggressive, they're upset, and you can maybe ask them what's going on, have a little conversation with them, try and cheer them up. But I think the hard part comes in when they're upset but they show it by being angry and aggressive towards you. I have had it many a times in the spa and working in the shops where a passenger's come in and they're just downright rude. But once again, working on ships and meeting so many people, I've got quite good at knowing if they're like that because something's happened and they're actually upset about something. So if I can tell that that's the case, and you know, I haven't necessarily done anything wrong, but I just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and I'm the person that they're targeting, I will listen. I will try and have as little attitude as possible, and whatever they ask for, I will try and accommodate. But a lot of the time, I'll just try and get into conversation with them, and then we end up discussing what their problem is. And then after 10 minutes, they've gone from hating your guts just because they're having a bad day to actually your best friends now because you've allowed them to vent. So don't get me wrong, There are some people who are just downright rude and there's no reason for it. That's just the way they're built. And then it is really hard not to have an attitude. Like, it's really hard just to take it. But if you can tell that they're upset and they're having a bad day and they just want to spread their misery around, the best thing is to listen. And if you can get in with the conversation, if they're open to that, then try and kind of change their day around. Try and get them out of their funk so they can have a great day on their cruise. But obviously some people can't be turned around. Some people's days are just too bad to change. On my first contract, when this was all new to me, it did ruin my day when, you know, someone would come in and have a go at me or be really rude to me. I did let it affect my entire day. Unfortunately, it kind of happens too often to let it affect your day. If you did let complaining guests affect your day, then you'd be miserable all the time. So now I've just learnt to brush it off. Just because they're having a bad day does not mean I have to have a bad day. Yes, it can be frustrating at times, but you just have to learn to kind of let it blow over you. As I said, when they're yelling at you, having a go at you for no apparent reason, think about the dinner and the mess that you're going to have later. Think about your dog back home. You really have to learn to not take it personally, because 9 times out of 10, it isn't personal. And a lot of it's nothing to do with you. You're the first person they saw and you're the person that they're going to let their steam off to. Probably the hardest one for me to keep my cool with, and actually for all of us, the hardest one for all of us to keep our cool with, is the passengers or even customers. If you work in a customer service role, then you will have experienced this, where they think they're entitled to talk to you like shit because they bought something, they paid for a cruise. So, same as all the rest, absolutely no attitude. And it's more important to not have an attitude with these people than anyone else, because these are the people that will look for a fight or look for something to complain about. And if you show any sign of attitude, you best believe they're going to be going to guest services and complaining about you. Even though, you know, it's completely understandable why you would have an attitude with them, because they're talking to you not very nicely for no reason. But the customer's always right. Obviously there are levels, there are certain things that they cannot say, and yes, of course you can report the passenger if they say something that is really below the belt. But if it's just your typical, I'm going to talk to you like shit, then the best thing is to not have any attitude, because you do not want to give them anything to report. Basically, something that really helps me not have an attitude with these kind of people is knowing how unhappy they must be. That sounds awful. Let me explain. No happy person is being mean, is being racist, is being derogatory, is being patronizing, is being bitchy. No happy person is doing that. So the way I think about it is, I'm like, God, if you feel the need to talk to me like that, someone that you don't know and I've never done anything to you, then you must actually be really unhappy, and that's really sad. So I go from being quite angry at how mean they're being to actually feeling really sorry for them, because I'm like, shit, you must live a horrible life. If you really think about it, no one who's happy is doing that. The bitchy girl in school, she's probably bitching because she's insecure. Or the person who's bullying someone else, they're not happy with themselves. No one who is truly okay with themselves, self-assured, confident, happy, is making other people feel shit. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. So if you've got someone really taking it out on you, then they must be miserable. And honestly, I feel so sorry for you at this point that I'm gonna let you talk to me like shit, because you must need this, so you go for it. You give me all you've got. That helps me anyway, so hopefully it will help you, because once again, you cannot take it personally. Like, these people who feel like they can talk to you like shit because they paid for a cruise, they don't know you. It is nothing personal. It's just their own ego and their own entitlement that is thinking that it's okay to do this. You really just cannot take any of these situations personally. And I think that was my biggest shift. When I said it used to really ruin my days, it's because I used to take it personally. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Nothing. You did nothing. You were just there. And even, I'm going a bit off topic now, but like if you find out someone's like bitching about you behind your back, any of your colleagues or friends, don't take it personally, because the bitching says more about them than it does about you. Like, once again, no happy person, self-confident person is bitching about someone else. It doesn't happen. So my biggest thing is, do not take this personally, because it isn't personal. It's got a lot more to do with themselves than it has with you. But a bit of practical advice, you know, if you do have someone talking to you like shit, maybe they're ordering you around, just do what they say, just follow their orders within reason, obviously, you know, get them the bottle of perfume that they want, do whatever they want. However, if they are just coming at you and they're like, you're rubbish at your job, or just insulting you, the best thing is listen to them while you nod and yeah in the right places and think about what you're gonna have for dinner later, and just say, I'm really sorry you feel that way. No attitude, remember, absolutely no attitude. What can they say to that? They can't say anything, and then they will leave, or you will turn around and deal with your next customer, or something will happen. But just don't give them anything to complain about. But I will say, if someone does talk to you like shit, definitely tell your manager, you know, like, this has just happened, this is what they said, this is what I said, purely because these types of people, they are looking for just anything to go off, so they might complain about you even though you did nothing wrong. So it's better that your manager knows from you than them getting a call from reception saying we've just had a complaint about one of your staff. Then of course, if the insults are more severe, if they are, you know, racist or homophobic, anything like that, you can report the passengers and get the passengers in trouble. So there's a fine line really, but if you were really offended and you think a passenger did hit below the belt, you absolutely can report them, and make sure you do report them, otherwise they are just going to go and spread their venom around the cruise ship. To recap, with all of these types of people, always stay calm, listen to what they have to say, do not interrupt them, and do not take anything personally, because it isn't personal. But anyway, I really hope that advice helps when we all get back on cruise ships, and I'm sure we will have some awkward passengers to deal with. Hopefully not too many, but of course there's going to be one or two. Please leave a little message in the comments, and also hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. I suppose I should say 1,000 sailors. But anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in the next video.